Rockstar Games are always packed with a ton of stuff. These massive, incredible worlds are filled with everything imaginable, so it's really easy to miss some of the smaller details. Hey everyone, you're watching Game Pulse, and this is 20 insane details in Rockstar Games. Enjoy the video! In GTA 5, helicopter rotors affect the environment. I already mentioned how helicopters disturb water in GTA 5, making it look a bit more subtle and realistic than in GTA 4. But there's a lot more going on when you take to the skies. One of the wildest details, fly close to a tree, and you'll actually see leaves get blown off, like you're chopping off branches with the rotor. But that's not all. If you hover near a yacht, the sails will react realistically, shifting depending on your helicopter's position. Even wind indicators can be manipulated just by flying near them. Now that's what I call attention to detail. Rain droplets in Red Dead Redemption only accumulate on the screen when you look up. This is such a subtle detail that it's easy to miss. In most games, raindrops just appear on your screen no matter what. But in the first Red Dead Redemption, it's handled a bit more realistically. You'll only see a lot of droplets if you actually look up into the rain, and if you lower the camera, the drops will gradually dry off. This version of the effect definitely looks way more natural than most others. Let's start with number 20. In GTA 4, helicopters can actually move water with their rotor wash. Rockstar went all out with effects in GTA 4, and while most of them are pretty obvious, I mean, explosions and gunfire are hard to miss, some are way easier to overlook. We're used to helicopters leaving some ripples on the water in most games, but Rockstar took it a step further. Here, if you fly low enough, the air from the rotor blades actually pushes the water away in streams. What's really interesting is that a lot of GTA 4's physics effects didn't make it into GTA 5, but this one did, and they even improved it. In GTA 5, it looks even more impressive. In Bully, if you're out of money, you kick vending machines instead of buying soda. This is a cool little gameplay feature that I had no idea existed in this underrated Rockstar Vancouver game. Buying soda from vending machines around the school is one way to restore health. But if you're broke, your character will just kick the machine instead. That alone is pretty funny, but what's even better is that if you keep kicking it long enough, a free soda will usually pop out. It's not the most efficient way to heal, but the fact that it even works is pretty amazing. In Red Dead Redemption 2, if you wear a mask in Armadillo, people assume it's because of cholera. This game is packed with insane details, but this one is just mind-blowing because it didn't need to be there. And yet, Rockstar still put in the effort to make it happen. In most towns, wearing a mask makes NPCs suspicious, but in Armadillo, people have a very different reaction. Instead of treating you like an outlaw, they'll assume you're just trying to avoid the disease. You'll hear unique dialogue where locals mention that masks don't help much, or that you're probably wearing it to avoid catching cholera. And here's the craziest part. This actually makes total sense in the world of RDR2. Armadillo recently went through a cholera outbreak, which is why there's a massive burning pit outside of town. You wouldn't even know about this unless you paid attention to background NPC dialogue, newspapers, or posters. It has zero impact on the main story, but Rockstar still crafted an entire backstory for this town and gave its people custom lines just in case you happen to wear a mask there. The level of world building in this game is on a whole other level, but at this point, that's exactly what we expect from Rockstar Games. GTA 5 characters who hate being followed and will beat you up if you overdo it. GTA 5 is packed with awesome details, and one of them is the character switching mechanic and all the fun stuff you can do with it. If you manage to find another playable character in San Andreas, like Trevor while playing as Michael, you can actually follow them around. Depending on who you're tailing, you'll hear different unique lines, with characters complaining about what you're doing.
It looked like you were creeping on me, bro.
But if you follow a character for too long, they'll get fed up and just knock you out. And that makes me wonder, why do NPCs almost never get annoyed when you stalk them? If you try to rob people while drunk in Red Dead Redemption 2, no one will take you seriously. When it comes to small details, RDR2 is on a whole other level. And honestly, I've been thinking about making a whole series on details like this, not just in RDR, but in GTA 2. But while GTA has 6 main games, Red Dead Redemption only has 2. So, unfortunately, there won't be that much RDR in this video. A lot of the funniest details in Red Dead Redemption 2 involve drinking. For example, if you try to rob someone while wasted, they'll just laugh at you. But that's not even the best part. When you're drunk, even the on-screen prompts start having typos. And if you piss off the law and then try to drink yourself into oblivion, it won't save you. You just won't see the sheriff grabbing you and dragging you off to jail, where you'll wake up the next morning. In GTA 4, different cars get washed differently. Car washes are scattered all over Liberty City, but let's be honest, who actually uses them? The only thing you can do there is wash your car, and the only reason to even bother is if it's dirty. The fact that they exist at all is already an insane level of detail, considering they're pretty much useless. But what's even crazier is that the way your car gets washed depends on whether it has a roof. If you roll up in a regular hardtop, you'll go through an automatic wash. But if you show up in a convertible, you'll get a completely different animation where the car is washed by hand. GTA 4 is filled with details that nobody actually needs, but paradoxically, they're exactly what makes the world feel so real. In GTA San Andreas, enemy gangs will smash your taxi if you park in their territory during taxi missions. This is a pretty rare situation since gang members usually don't bother you too much, but if you decide to make some cash as a taxi driver, they can really ruin your day. If you park your taxi in enemy territory while doing taxi missions, gang members will gather around and start kicking your car until you get out. It looks absolutely hilarious, but if you're just trying to make some money, it's a huge pain. In GTA 5, sunglasses actually affect first-person view. The ability to see the world in first person was an awesome addition to the series in GTA 5. But with it, Rockstar also threw in a pretty insane detail. If you change into an outfit that includes dark sunglasses and then switch to first-person mode, your entire vision will be tinted, exactly how it would look through real sunglasses. But here's where it gets even cooler. Your character gradually adjusts to the glasses. Over time, the tint slowly fades until everything looks normal again. It's an impressive detail that also makes sure players who don't want to see the world through a colored filter aren't stuck with it forever. The only catch, the effect takes a while to disappear, so a lot of people might not even realize it eventually fades. In Max Payne 3, Max's clothes gradually get soaked in sweat. And before you start complaining, yes, I know the first two games were made by Remedy and published by Rockstar, but Max Payne 3, that one was developed by Rockstar themselves. It's their game, and it's packed with incredible little details. In many levels, Max's clothes get sweatier over time, making him look more and more worn out. GTA 5 has a similar effect, but in Max Payne 3 it looks way more realistic. In GTA San Andreas, exhaust pipes release bubbles instead of smoke underwater. Some of the older GTA games are over 20 years old, yet people are still discovering new details in them. One of those details, the way exhaust effects change when a car is submerged. Normally, your car's exhaust pipe just spits out smoke, but if you drive into water, it starts releasing bubbles instead. It's such a small thing, but the fact that it exists in such an old game is just crazy. It really feels like something the devs didn't need to think about, but somehow they did. In GTA 4, tires deflate slowly after being shot. This is yet another cool detail from GTA 4. Unlike most games where tires just immediately pop, here they gradually lose air over time. And it doesn't stop there. The bullet hole itself is actually physically simulated. If the wheel is spinning, the little stream of air escaping from it will spin too. It's one of those tiny details that's easy to overlook, but all these little things together made the game feel so realistic that, at the time of its release, it truly felt like a next-gen experience. In Bully, teachers react if you try to spell a curse word. Even though certain groups were not happy about Bully, the game was actually way more kid-friendly compared to the violent and brutal GTA series. But that doesn't mean it was completely free of bad words. If you wanted to stir up some trouble, you could do it in English class, where you had to form words from a set of letters. And yeah, some of those letter sets let you spell out swear words, but if you tried, the teacher would immediately call you out. On top of that, you wouldn't even get points for it. But honestly, it's still hilarious. In Bully, you can throw a firecracker into a toilet, and sometimes a turd will fly out. Blowing up toilets with firecrackers? Classic school prank. So, of course, it made its way into Bully. But every now and then, just to make things extra disgusting, the explosion will send a turd flying out along with the water. It's a small, gross little detail that doesn't happen often, so when it does, it's a real surprise. And honestly, it's hilarious. In RDR2, if you hold a lit stick of dynamite for too long, Arthur will put it out. Red Dead Redemption 2 is packed with tiny details, but some of them are so common that players don't really pay attention to them, like this one. When you pull out a stick of dynamite in the game, Arthur automatically lights the fuse, ready to throw it. And since it's a video game, you'd expect it to just burn forever. But this is Rockstar we're talking about. They think of everything. So if you hold the dynamite for too long, Arthur won't just let himself explode. Instead, like any reasonable person, he'll simply put the fuse out. In Bully, you can start a full-on food fight in the cafeteria. It's not just that you can walk into the cafeteria and start throwing food, it's the fact that other students will join in. Rockstar knew that if they put food in the cafeteria, someone was going to try and throw it. So instead of just ignoring it, they programmed an actual reaction. The moment you toss the first piece of food, NPCs immediately start chucking stuff too, turning the whole thing into chaos. In GTA 5, if you heavily customize your car, random pedestrians will comment on it and even take photos. A slick ride is one of the best ways to show off how far you've come in the world of GTA 5. And NPC reactions to your success? That's just one of those little details that make the game world feel alive. If you pimp out your car and park it somewhere, some pedestrians will actually stop to admire it, just like in San Andreas, where NPCs would compliment your character's look. And if your car is really impressive, some might even pull out their phones and start taking pictures. It's a small thing, but it adds a ton of immersion. In GTA 5, shooting a gas tank makes fuel leak instead of instantly exploding. This is one of those awesome little details that make GTA 5 feel way more realistic. In most games, a bullet to the gas tank just makes the car explode on the spot. But here, it's different. If you shoot the gas tank, fuel will start leaking, leaving a trail on the ground. And it's not just a simple texture effect. If you hang a car over a ledge, you'll actually see the gas dripping down in a stream rather than just appearing on the pavement. This is such a small, almost hidden detail that it's actually kind of insane. And it can be dangerous too. If a flame shoots out of your exhaust pipe, it can ignite the gas trail, leading straight back to the tank. Way more realistic than just blowing up immediately like in most other games. In Max Payne 3, the improvised suppressor gradually breaks as you fire. In Chapter 12 of Max Payne 3, there's a quick cutscene where Max makes a makeshift suppressor out of a plastic bottle. Given that it's a third-person game, you'd expect the suppressor to just stay the same throughout the sequence, since it's not something you're constantly looking at. But if you pay close attention, you'll notice that the suppressor actually breaks more and more depending on how many shots you've fired. In most games, you'd only have two models, one for a fully intact suppressor and one for a completely destroyed one. But this is Rockstar we're talking about. Here, there are at least 4 different damage stages, even though most players will never even notice them. Just another example of the insane attention to detail in Max Payne 3. Hey guys, if you want me to continue this series with other game studios and their amazing details, don't forget to smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Also, tell me about the coolest Rockstar details you've noticed. Maybe I missed something. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. Huge thanks for watching all the way to the end. This was Game Pulse, and I'll see you soon in the next video.